Thea Stilton. Mouseford Academy lights, camera, action. Let's move those tails. The sun was just rising over Whale Island, warming the chilly night air. A light F-06 still hung above the houses like a lure of freshly grated mozzarella. While the rodents on the rest of the island were slowly stretching their tails and rolling out of bed, the students up at Mouseford Academy were already hopping with activity. Colette, Nikki, Pam, Paulina, and Violet, 5 mouselets known as the Thea sisters, were just about done getting dressed. They were in Colette and Pam's room, which was messier than a muskrat den. Leggings and t-shirts and shoes were scattered everywhere. While Colette was fixing Paulina's furdo, Violet and Pamela were picking out what they'd wear that night. Nikki was trying to shut her overstuffed suitcase. "Perfect," said Colette as she poked one last barrette into Paulina's fur. "Tonight is going to be absolutely fabulous," Nikki exclaimed. She pushed one paw down on her suitcase, finally managing to close it. "You said it," Pam replied happily. There was no doubt about it, the Thea sisters were about to have a once-in-a-lifetime adventure. That night, they would be traveling to Los Angeles to attend the world premiere of Tio Mice in the Moonlight, the latest blockbuster film starring the famous actor Dylan DeLarrett. "Are you ready?" asked Connie. She was standing in the doorway with the other members of the Ruby crew. "Yep, that's everything," Colette replied, zipping her pink suitcase. "Let's make like a cheese wheel and roll." "Is that all the luggage you're bringing?" Paulina wondered. "Just the one suitcase?" She couldn't stop a look of shock from crossing her snout. You see, Colette was famous for her passion for fashion. She didn't even like to go to class without a change of clothing. "Oh, no, don't be ridiculous. That's just my first spray and snout cream. There's the rest of my luggage," Colette replied, pointing to a huge trunk at the foot of her bed. Nikki, Pam, Paulina, and Violet burst out laughing. Now that was the real Colette. As they left campus, Colette, Nikki, Pam, Violet, and Paulina exchanged looks of excitement. All 5 friends were thinking back to the day this AF venture had begun. If you want the full tale, keep reading. A few months earlier, classes had ended for the day, and the Thea sisters were relaxing in Nikki and Paulina's room. Violet was practicing her violin, filling the room with a sweet melody. Colette was reading a book, Nikki was stretching her paws on the floor, and Paulina was setting up her laptop. "Anyone up for a quick amped into town?" Pam asked, glancing out the window. "It's so nice outside." Nikki grinned. She knew Pam well. And she understood that when her friend suggested a quick scamper into Torn, she had something special in mind. "Pam, do you need to order a spare part for your Jeep?" Nikki asked. "Well, to be honest, yes," Pam admitted. "And afterward, I thought we might stop for a slice of pizza." "I'm starving." Violet laughed. "I'll go with you." "I've practiced enough today," she said, putting her violin away. "And now it's my turn to be honest. I'm hungrier than a tomcat at feeding time." So Violet and Pam headed away from campus. But getting to the town square was no day at the cheese shop. All the streets in town were jammed with traffic. The harbor was crowded with boats, and the streets were crammed with rodents. At last, the 2 mouselets reached the Thrifty Rat, their favorite store. By now, Violet and Pam knew something was up. They had never seen the place so packed. The store's owner, Tamara, was behind the counter, running back and forth like a gerbil on a treadmill. "What's going on?" Pam asked. "What's with all the rodents everywhere?" "You mean you don't know?" Tamara replied, giving a bag to a customer. "Today the glasses are coming to Whale Island." What do you mean, the glasses are coming? Violet asked, baffled. The sound of broken glass interrupted her. As Tamara's assistant, Cammy, was helping a customer, she had brushed against a floor lamp, which bumped into a spare tire, which knocked into a statue, which tipped onto some glasses, shattering them to pieces. When the store gets busy, Cammy gets even clumsier than usual, said Tamara, shaking her snout. And the mayhem is only going to increase once they start filming. Filming? Pam asked, curious. Now I'm more lost than a lab rat in a maze. Just who exactly is coming to Whale Island? Why, a movie crew. Tamara replied. Didn't I say that? That's right. Cammy put in. They're filming Two Mice in the Moonlight, the latest movie with Dylan DeLaret and Kiki Cattail. Some of the scenes will be filmed right here on Watch the Candles, Cammy. Whale Island, Tamara went on, shaking her snout. Oops. Muttered Cammy, hastily picking up the candles she'd knocked onto the floor. Tamara sighed. Then she turned to Pamela and Violet. Did you come to buy something? Yes, but no worries, we'll come back when things calm down, Pamela said. Pam's Jeep could wait. But the two mouselets couldn't wait to give their friends the scoop. A romantic story. Back at Mouseford, Violet and Pam scurried to find their friends. They couldn't wait to share the big news with the other Thea sisters. Wow! Paulina exclaimed when she heard. I wonder what kind of movie it is. TLL bet it's an adventure film. Whale Island is the perfect setting. Nikki chimed in. Or maybe it's a musical, Violet said. Colette giggled. Oh no, you mouselets have got it all wrong. It's going to be a lave story. Two Mice in the Moonlight is the third novel in Melanie Mousington's best-selling trilogy. It's the story of Victor and Summer, two young sweethearts, she explained. One of the most romantic scenes takes place in an old castle. That's where Victor first declares his feelings for Summer. How do you know so much about this? Violet asked, surprised. Colette grinned like the cat who swallowed the canary. Because last week I was sick with the flu, and I caught up on all my favorite magazines. It's been all over the headlines. The mouselets started speculating about the arrival of the movie's two stars, Dylan DeLaret and Kiki Cattail. The young star were enormously popular. I wonder what they're like in the fur, Nikki said dreamily. The magazines I read say Dylan is really moody, and Kiki is a bit of a snob, Colette reported knowingly. They're the same age as us, but since they're movie stars, they live such glamorous lives. Nikki pointed out. We probably won't even see them once they get to the island. I'm sure they'll have bodyguards and limos and stuff. I'll bet you're right, Nick, Pam agreed. But I still hope we can get a closer look at how a movie crew works. Maybe we'll even get to see part of the shoot, Paulina added. Just then, Tanya poked her snout into the room. Mouselets, let's head down to the Great Hall. The headmaster is about to make an announcement. A special announcement. Once the Great Hall was filled with mouselets and ratlets, Headmaster Octavius de Mussis began to squeak. This is an important day, he said. Some of you may already know that a movie crew has just arrived on Whale Island. They will be shooting the film Two Mice in the Moonlight right here at Mouseford Academy. The mouselets and ratlets all burst into a round of applause. Clap, clap, clap. You see, many of the students were fans of Melanie Mousington's trilogy. The thought of their favorite book series coming to life at their school was a total thrill. Excuse me, but I'm not finished, the headmaster said sternly, trying to bring his students back to order. As a matter of fact, Ms. Mousington set a key scene here in our school. She drew inspiration for her novel from the beloved halls of Mouseford Academy. There was another round of applause, this time louder than before. "I didn't know that," Colette whispered to the other Thea sisters. "Maybe that part was in one of the magazines you don't read," Nikki replied with a winala. The headmaster waited for all the whispers to die down. Then he began squeaking again. "I still haven't finished. I've called you here to tell you that you will all have the opportunity to attend the filming." At that, all the students were squeakless. They were shocked into silence. The headmaster grinned. "Now you can clap." The students' last round of applause was the loudest one yet. As the students filed out of the great hall, the Thea sisters and their friends stopped in the hallway to chat. "I can't believe Mouseford is going to be the setting for a movie," Tanya exclaimed. "I know. It's amazing," Colette agreed breathlessly. "I can't wait to talk to a real costume designer. I have so many questions. Like, how do they choose the fabric and colors for the costumes? And how do they create each movie's unique style? And how do they—" "Slow down, Colette," Violet said, laughing. "You're talking faster than my Uncle Quentin P. Quick squeak. Make sure you don't frighten off the costume designer, okay?" Each of the Thea sisters was excited about a different dart of the movie shoot. Violet wanted to learn how the sound technicians did their work, Paulina wanted to learn how to make special effects using CGI, and Pam was dying to watch the set construction. But most students at Mouseford were more interested in meeting the two famous actors than learning how movies were made. "Can you believe it?" Alicia squealed. "We're going to meet Dylan Delaret in the fur." She was more excited than a mooselling on Christmas morning. "He's so dreamy," Zoe said with a sigh. "I know," Tanya said in agreement. "I just adored him in Mouse Overboard." "I really hope we can get his autograph," Ellie put in. "Maybe he'll even squeak to us." Ruby tossed her fur. "Are you kidding me? Dylan Delaret is a huge movie star. There's no way he'll waste his time talking to an ordinary fan like you." Ellie's snout fell. Her sad expression made Pam chew her whiskers. "Don't listen to her, Ellie. I'm sure Dylan Delaret will be happy to meet a fan like you." Pam steered Ellie away from the Ruby crew and brought her over to the Thea sisters. Ellie smiled at Pam, and the mouselets began chattering as cheerfully as chipmunks. The day was way too special to let Ruby ruin it. "Welcome to the Academy." Over the next few days, there was non-stop excitement on the Mouseford campus. The two mice in the Moonlight crew had arrived, and the Thea sisters didn't want to miss a chance to check out the set. The movie world was complex, and there was lots and lots to learn. After days and days of setup, it was finally time for the shoot to begin. The only ones missing were the actors. "They're landing," Pamela exclaimed. She scurried to the heliport with her friends. The entire Mouseford Academy staff was there to meet the actors and the director. Students crowded around as well, eager to greet the famous guests. As the helicopter touched the ground, the rodents' eager whispers died down. An expectant hush fell over the crowd. But as soon as the cabin door opened to reveal a smiling Kiki cattail, the silence was broken and there was a roar of applause. "Welcome to Mouseford," the headmaster said, shaking paws with the young actor. Kiki smiled at the warm welcome. She greeted the Academy's professors, and then approached the students. "Finally! I've really been looking forward to coming to Mouseford," she said, looking around, HERFULLY. The students were surprised by Kiki's behavior. Everyone had been expecting a cold and standoffish star. Instead, Kiki seemed warm and friendly. She was obviously an outgoing mouselet. While Kiki was chatting with the students, the director, Charlie Cinnerat, scrambled off the helicopter and ran to hug Professor Plotfur, the Academy's drama professor. The two ratlets had worked together in the past, and they'd become good friends. While everyone was busy with introductions and small talk, the last passenger strolled off the helicopter. It was Dylan Delaret. The young actor greeted the crowd with a shy smile. He looked a little embarrassed by the heartfelt welcome from his fans. When he noticed the ratlet's shyness, the headmaster approached the star with a smile. Nikki was watching the scene from the sidelines. "It doesn't look like Dylan is very happy to be here," she whispered to her friends. "And I'll bet he'll be even less happy once the headmaster starts telling him the history of Mouseford Academy in detail, starting with its founding 600 years ago." Pam joked. A fun afternoon. Once the two young actors had arrived, the atmosphere around the academy turned festive. A group of friendly, curious students surrounded the two stars. Everyone wanted to get to know them. Kiki turned out to be a lovely mouselet, ready to chat and laugh with anyone. But unfortunately, you couldn't squeak the same of Dylan. He didn't seem interested in making friends with anyone. "Would you like a tour of the campus?" Paulina asked Kiki and Dylan. "Oh, yes, what a great idea!" Colette exclaimed. The sun is about to set, and the light in the Academy's gardens is really beautiful at this hour. Before Dylan and Kiki could reply, Ruby cut in. Why would Kiki and Dylan want to go on a boring old walk around campus? I'll bet they'd rather rest before tonight's party. "What party?" Kiki asked, frowning. "Oh, just the party I'm hosting in your honor on my family's yacht," Ruby explained, looking smug. "It's swankier than soft cheese. You're welcome to stay there during the shoot. I know movie stars like you are used to elegant and exclusive places, and I'm sure you won't be comfortable in the Academy's shabby old dorm rooms." The Thea sisters exchanged glances. As usual, Ruby was quick to show off. "Oh, thank you, Ruby, but we've had enough of parties and luxury hotels," answered Kiki, shooting Dylan a swift look. "We'd rather take a walk and stay here on campus. You see, it's nice for us to be with ratlets and mouselets our own age. We want to take advantage of the opportunity to hang out with other mice like us." Kiki's words surprised everyone, including Ruby. "Oh, sure, it's no fur off my snout," she sniffed, trying to act casual. "Whatever you want." Kiki looked at Paulina and smiled. "So, how about that tour of the campus?" The ratlets and mouselets headed toward the garden. Ruby decided to tag along with the group. It wasn't every day that such important guests came to visit Mouseford, and she wasn't about to let the Thea sisters hoard them like a fresh pack of cheese curls. Around and Mouseford. Like their classmates, the Thea sisters were proud to study at Mouseford Academy. The historic institution was like a second home to them. As they led Kiki and Dylan along the hallway, they